So guys, positive here, and Emergy Frag is currently having Korean anniversary, 3-year Korean anniversary. So because of that, I saw that like Broccoli and Quinella, and I saw the Abbey card, and I was like, what do I want for Rising Steel anniversary? What do I like to see in Rising Steel anniversary? I thought about it a little bit. Then I had let me just turn off notifications. And I had a brilliant idea in my head. A new mechanic. Obviously, I don't want any new rarities. Emergy Frag showed to me that new rarities are bad civilization. And a 5-star rarity was fine. It actually was my favorite period of defrag. 6-star rarities were not it. 6-star rarities in defrag were absolutely awful. So I was like, no new rarities. New rarities bad. Because it's obviously stat increase, it's power creep, probably better skills and stuff like that. We don't want that. Instead, what I decided would be cool is a new mechanic. Recently we've got enhanced mode, and I thought of something similar, but different. And then I thought a little bit more. I was like, okay, there's one thing a defrag could never do because it's an action game. Switching, like dual characters. And because Rising Steel is a turn-based RPG, it will be way easier to do an actual dual character. So I ended up was thinking of was a switch mechanic. So you have a unit, for example, in this case, I made 2 concepts. Kirito and Yujo and Asana and Yuki. And basically there's a switch skill, so in case of you'll see once I talk about these concepts more, we'll see what I mean. Like in this case, we see Kirito and Yujo, for example. You use the switch skill with Kirito and you switch to Yujo for 2 turns. But it has the same downsides as enhanced mode, so you do get an increased MP cost. But it shouldn't matter, it's something like ranking events, obviously. But you get a completely new skill set. You get 2 new skills. So, unlike for example, regular units, because enhanced mode units technically have 2 skills because 3rd skill is transformation. These guys technically have 4 skills instead of 3, like usually, because the switch skill allows them to switch the skill sets completely with animations, with type of attacks and stuff like that. Makes basically them a completely new unit, making only stats and incarnate remain the same. So let's take a look at my first concept, which is Kirito and Yujo. You can see the dual icon there. It's the element. So when you're Kirito, the element in this case will be dark. But once you switch to Yu-Gi-Oh, the element becomes water. So see, the HP stat is 6,100, so MP stat 250, so we gotta have high AP to utilize the switch mechanic properly. The attack will be 2,310, and magic attack does not matter in this guy's case. It will matter in my other concept, you'll see. Also, one thing I wanna have is, please Rising Steel, for anniversary, I want original Ade card. Most likely, neither of the things mentioned in this video will happen, and by that I mean original Abe card for the anniversary units and a new switch mechanic. I don't think either will happen for anniversary, but I really want it. So back to this, you can see have pretty good defenses. They have average crit, and their speed is in the mid-range. It's not bad, but it's not good either. I basically decided to, just like with every enhanced mode besides Adis, I decided to nerf them speed-wise, because as you know, Adis is the only fast enhanced mode, and even then, her speed at this point is not even close to fastest speed in the game. Because the fastest speed in the game right now is 321, and Adis' speed is 316, so here I decided they don't need high speed because they have so many utilities. So in this case, I decided to make it you'll see later how I just designed this unit. You see, Kirito's first skill is a break skill. It's a slash attack which is strong on a single enemy and inflicts dark continuous damage, which works really well with his assault skill, being a slash attack extra strong on a single enemy and dealing added damage on enemies inflicted with continuous damage. So the way it works, it basically works the same way as Enhanced Mode Kirito, but in this case, Kirito has a break and not a charge. So then you have a switch skill, which is Switch Yujio, and it switches the character to Yujio for 2 turns. We're gonna take a look at the incarnate once we take a look at Yujio. So as you can see here, Yujio, here he has a charge skill and an assault skill, and as you can see already by just reading for this, you can see that the way I designed it is I decided to make Kirito a damage dealer and Yujio a support. So as you can see, Yujio has Skill Connect, Steep Slant. What it does is a slash attack strong on a single enemy, lowers physical resolution by 20% for 1 turn, and obviously incarnate charge is 20%, just like every other level 2 incarnate. Yeah, these are like level 80 stats, obviously. In this case, and we have Vorpal Destruction A+, which is a slash attack extra strong and raises critical damage of all allies by 20% for 2 turns. So as you can see, Yujio is purely a support. Unlike Kirito, who is purely a damage dealer, this guy is purely a support. And then you have their Incarnate. Their Incarnate is Master and Student combination. Animation-wise, I want their Incarnate to start off with Resistor. You know, with Resistor opening, when they're like spin their swords. Just, for example, the Enhanced Mode Yujio has it. And then they move to Adamas, a scene from Adamas where Kirito and Yujio are fighting Dusselbert in the opening, if you remember. And once they do that action, I want Yujio to do the Enhanced Ornament first, then Kirito to do his Enhanced Ornament to attack the enemy. So Yujio does it to freeze the enemy, Kirito does it to attack the enemy then. And then you have a cut where you can see both of them screaming and amplifying like their attacks, kind of like on their incarnates, on the original incarnates of War Yujio and Dark Kirito, if you remember. So that's what I want from the animation. And as you can see here, it's an incarnate slash attack on a single enemy, which lowers enemy's physical resolution by 20% and inflicts war continuous damage for 3 turns. So here I wanted to make it have something from both of them. So Yujio is basically part of incarnate, does continuous damage, because you know the way Blue Rose's Enhanced Armament and Release Recollection work is that they stun you and then slowly drain, instead like it stuns you and then slowly drains its life, which is why I decided to give it continuous damage. Because if I actually gave him an actual heal, I do think they're already really good, but they will be even better, and I don't want to make them like stupid busted, even though they kind of are. And physical resolution is obviously, so again, you can make the chainsaw even better, and it's like obviously just like the new Yujio's incarnate, the new Kirito's incarnate, yeah, basically with the physical resolution, because it's a really good debuff. It's the best debuff in the game. Now we move to Asuna and Yuki. See, Friends Forever, Asuna and Yuki. So we have their HP stat is worse than Kirito and Yujio's. Their MP stat is basically the same. The attack stat is lower, but the magic attack stat is higher, and this is because this unit functions differently. This unit is both a magic and a physical user. You will see it later. The defenses are better for them and way better than Kirito's and Yujio's. Crit is also way higher, but their speed is lower, being 310. So let's take a look at Asanas kit. First, you see Aquarius Bowl C+ is a magic attack strong on a single enemy and lowers magical resolution by 20% and obviously current charge 20%. Then we have Aquarius Gazer and functions the same way as old version 1 Elio Asana, being a strong attack on all enemies. But instead of continuous damage, it's magic resolution debuff, and magic resolution debuff specifically. Because it's AoE, I decided not to give it added damage on physical resolution, but only keep it to magical resolution, just because it's it's an AoE skill already, and it will make it really good because of. So then you have obviously your switch, which switches to Yuki for 2 turns. So let's take a look at Yuki's kit before taking a look at the Incarnate. So Yuki is obviously has a break, and they function the exact same way in terms of their typings, being water, but instead of dark and then switching to water, it's water and then switching to dark. So we have their break skill, which is skill connect, like Yuki's break skill, which is skill connect back rush, and it functions exactly the same as the new Yuki, but instead of lowering magic attack, it lowers regular attack by 10%. Then we have Whirlpool Destruction A+, which is a splash attack extra strong on a single enemy and deals added damage to enemies with attack or magic attack debuff. So it's a completely new effect. Not really completely new, it's basically just a new version of the existing effect, because we never had added damage to enemies inflicted with an attack debuff before, so I decided to give her that. And then Incarnate is Mavers Rosario. Obviously they just do Mavers Rosario together, kinda as you can see an ordinal scale basically, and how you saw it with even version 2 Elio Asana in a way. Actually, no, not that. Ordinal scale Asana. Yeah, ordinal scale Asana in this game already had. So it's basically kind of like that, but Yuki actually being there instead of like her spirit. And it's an Incarnate Frost attack to a single enemy and lowers physical and magical resolution by 15% for 1 turn. I decided to lower it to 15% because it's both physical and magic to keep it balanced. And basically, again, this Incarnate is made to help both Asana and Yuki. So the way this unit is built is that Asana is a magic damage dealer, and Yuki is a physical damage dealer. So yeah, these are the only 2 I made as concepts. I do think there could be a lot of units done in the future in this style, but at the same time I want duos to be mainly saved for celebrations, because even though there are a lot of options, you can't really make that many options. Like they don't have that many options to make them basically every banner, because I do think they're gonna stop with enhanced mode sooner or later, because we still need supports, and enhanced mode is basically just for damage dealers, really, if you think about it, because you lose the precious third skill, which support, like for example Terraria, Leafa, any charge enhancer, any break enhancer, can benefit a lot. So yeah, and I think that's it. So overall, like, the units I can see later being released as a duo. I can see that with Kirito and Asana, SAO Kirito and SAO Asana, probably could be a free-to-play anniversary login bonus unit, or a free-to-play event anniversary unit. That would be really cool. I can see Kirito and Leafa, LAO Kirito obviously and Leafa, GGO Kirito and Xenon. What else? Kirito and Alice. When they fought, Well, technically it was mainly Kirito who fought in Tokyo Night Yu-Gi-Oh, but for example, like when you fought like Chudelkin and Quinella, you can take some stuff from there, I guess, in a way, and just make some custom stuff, like somehow combine their enhanced ornaments or release their collection. You can also make Broccoli and Fanatio, Lina and Fizzle, Fanatio and Dakura, Lisbeth and Silica, Klein and Agil. There are just so many options you can do with this switch mechanic. That's actually stupid, like how many options you have, but yeah, that's basically it. If you enjoyed this video and like this concept, smash the like button, subscribe to my channel. You can also follow me on Twitter at Positive Saiyan. And you can also join our SEO Rising Steel Discord, link is in the description below. I'm Positive and I'm out. See ya.